Hi, children. Good morning. Now, let's look at this lesson. All of you, open your books at page number 99, eighth lesson. The first part, Santosh Yadav. The eighth lesson, there is Reach for the Top. And the first part of this lesson is about Santosh Yadav. Let's look at the paragraph 1. First, I'll read the paragraph and then I'll explain. Look at the book when I am reading. All of you open your books at page number 99 and look at the first paragraph. The only woman in the world who has scaled Mount Everest twice was born in a society where the birth of a son was regarded as a blessing and a daughter, though not considered a curse, was not generally welcome. When her mother was expecting Santosh, a traveling holy man giving her his blessing assumed that she wanted a son. But to everyone's surprise, the unborn child's grandmother, who was standing close by, told him that they didn't want a son. The holy man was also surprised. Nevertheless, he gave the requested blessing, and as destiny would have it, the blessing seemed to work. Santosh was born the sixth child in a family with 5 sons, a sister to 5 brothers. She was born in the small village of Joniavas of Rewari district in Haryana. So this is the beginning of the lesson, children. Santosh Yadav, the mountaineer who scaled Mount Everest twice. She was born in a small village in Haryana. Of course, when her mother was carrying her, a traveling holy man, just like a Baba, came to their house, visited their house, and when he asked whether she wanted a boy or a girl, surprisingly to him, Santosh's grandmother told they wanted a daughter. Of course, in those days, even now, many people believe that or want a son. They don't give much priority to daughters. They prefer sons to daughters. But here, surprisingly, the grandmother of Santosh Yadav told the holy man that they wanted a girl child. Of course, the reason already Santosh's mother gave birth to 5 sons. Maybe that is one reason they wanted a girl child. So, surprisingly for that holy man, they wanted a girl child and he blessed the same. Of course, the destiny also decided that they had a daughter. After 5 sons, Santosh's mother gave birth to this girl. She has 5 brothers. This is explained in the first paragraph. Now, let's look at the second paragraph of the lesson. Turn the pages, children. Look at page number 100. The girl was given the name Santosh, which means contentment. But Santosh was not always content with her place in a traditional way of life. She began living life on her own terms from the start. Where other girls wore traditional Indian dresses, Santosh preferred shorts. Looking back, she says now, from the very beginning, I was quite determined that if I chose a correct and a rational path, the others around me had to change, not me. Generally, children, always when you wanted to change something, first you want to begin that change. She also thought like that. Even though she was born into a traditional family in Haryana, in a village in Haryana, from her childhood, she started behaving in a different manner. She started wearing not traditional dresses and she wore shorts and other types of dress which was worn by boys those days. And she firmly believed that when you want to change something, first you have to stick to it. Others will definitely follow if you succeed. That is the ultimate philosophy in anybody's life. Now look at the third paragraph, children. Santosh's parents were affluent landowners who could afford to send their children to the best schools, even to the country's capital, New Delhi, which was quite close by. But in line with the prevailing custom in the family, Santosh had to make do with the local village school. So she decided to fight the system in her own quiet way when the right moment arrived. And the right moment came when she turned 16. At 16, most of the girls in her village used to get married. Santosh was also under pressure from her parents to do the same. So now it is described here in the third paragraph that her parents are affluent. Affluent means wealthy, well to do family. They could easily send their children to a nearby town or even to New Delhi, which is nearby city to them. Of course, the country's capital it is, but they didn't send their children to such schools. They sent their children to their local school in the village. Santosh was also sent like that, but in the beginning she could not do anything. She was waiting for the right moment to differ from that path. That chance came to her when she turned 16. Of course, those days in the villages in our country, the children used to get married at a very early age, maybe maximum by 16 years. So her parents, Santosh's parents, also pressured her to get married. But here she showed her resistance. Let's look at the fourth paragraph. A marriage as early as that was the last thing on her mind. She threatened her parents that she would never marry if she did not get a proper education. She left home and got herself enrolled in a school in Delhi. When her parents refused to pay for her education, she politely informed them of her plans to earn money by working part time to pay her school fees. Her parents then agreed to pay for her education. Whenever you want to do something different, definitely there will be some resistance. So naturally, her parents also didn't agree to send her to Delhi for education. But she was adamant, she was a bit firm in this area. She went to Delhi against the wishes of her parents, and there she joined a school. And when her parents refused to pay her school fee, she told them firmly that she could work somewhere in the evening time, part time. She would go for a part time job and thus manage to pay her school fee. Of course, then their parents came down and agreed to pay her school fee. See, children, generally, any parent, your parents, what is their ultimate goal? To make you people happy. Any parent thinks that his or her children should lead a happy life. Santosh's parents also thought like that. At the following their tradition, they wanted to get marry her off at the age of 16, but she resisted. She went to Delhi. Of course, here we have to keep in mind that there might be some support from other relatives or their well wishers. Otherwise, she could not go to Delhi alone and join a school there. Of course, later her parents accepted to pay her school fee when she threatened that she would go for a part time job to pay her school fee. Look at the fifth paragraph. Wishing always to study a bit more, and with her father slowly getting used to her urge for more education, Santosh passed the high school examinations and went to Jaipur. She joined Maharani College and got a room in Kasturba Hotel. Santosh remembers Kasturba Hostel. Sorry, children. Kasturba Hostel faced the Aravali Hills. I used to watch villages from my room going up the hill and suddenly vanishing after a while. One day I decided to check it out myself. I found nobody except a few mountaineers. I asked if I could join them. To my pleasant surprise, they answered in the affirmative and motivated me to take to climbing. Generally, we take up a profession or a field because of so many factors. When this girl, Santosh, joined a hostel in Jaipur for higher education, she got a room which sees the Aravali mountains standing opposite that hostel. This Santosh, she used to watch people going up that Aravali, that means mountaineering. So one day she wanted to check it for herself whether she could do it. when she went to that mountain and asked the people about that task of mountaineering, climbing mountains, scaling mountains, they did not disappoint her. They did not frighten her. They said, yes, she could easily do that. So she took to mountaineering, climbing mountains. Look at the sixth paragraph, children. Then there was no looking back for this determined young girl. She saved money and enrolled in a course at Uttarkashi's Nehru Institute of Mountaineering. My college semester in Jaipur was to end in April, but it ended on the 19th of May, and I was supposed to be in Uttarkashi on the 21st, so I did not go back home. Instead, I headed straight for the training. I had to write a letter of apology to my father, without whose permission I had got myself enrolled at Uttarkashi. So, children, here when she was attracted towards that mountaineering. She made efforts to join a school which gives training for that purpose. So she joined an institute in Uttarkashi, and she did it without the knowledge of her father. So immediately after the the examinations at Jaipur completed, she wanted to go to Uttarkashi without even informing her parents. She knows definitely they would object, and she enrolled herself in that training institute without taking permission from her parents, or at least from his father. So this is for today, children. Go through all these six paragraphs once again. Read each and every line out, underlining the new words wherever you come across, and try to understand the gist of these six paragraphs, and try to write it on your own in your running notes. So, what is the lesson about, and what happened in the beginning, how it happened, like this. These covering these things, like just like a summary. Okay, children. Let's continue this lesson in the next module.